This isn't gonna work. This is way too easy. Obviously this truck has got the secret sauce. We need something special, something more difficult.
I know exactly where we can go. I got the perfect place.
Let's do it.
All right.
So Joe, we thought that was a little easy back there at the test course. So we brought it down to an Arizona road course facility and we let the Jeep hang out a little bit, literally.
Absolutely. You know, I was definitely pushing this vehicle to the point where I was losing grip and going into the corners, getting oversteer, getting understeer, you know, wide open throttle, and I was surprised. You know, pretty well balanced vehicle, no surprises. You know, controllability and the predictability was there.
So one of the things we always think about with a heavily modified vehicle is, how's the thing going to do on the road? It's pretty clear. We know how well the AEV Jeeps do in the dirt. We know how much traction they have. We know the way that the suspension flexes. We know the dampening is just perfect for dirt terrain. So now when we take it on a high-speed closed road course, we get a chance to see just what the limit handling is with a vehicle with a 3.5-inch lift and 35-inch tires. How did that feel to you on the track?
You know, what I liked about it was the body roll. Flat front rear, and that to me was huge, you know, going around some of these corners.
And a lot of these vehicles that we test that are lifted, roll center's way high, lots of body roll, very unpredictable. This thing, like you said, was really flat, favored a little bit of understeer, but overall the grip was impressive given the vehicle.
You know, absolutely, those BFGs just stuck to the ground, but what I thought was cool, and I told Scott, let's leave that high lift jack mounted on the back, a little extra weight, a little high, but you know what, that's reality. That's how it's going to be sold, and you know, there you go.
So you could literally take this vehicle from a 4+ trail in Moab and run it on a road course like this just for fun, and it shows that it held together. And I suspect that most vehicles that are modified this way wouldn't be able to do what we just did.
Well, I think that comes down to the development and engineering that they did on this vehicle, the AEV guys, just for the simple fact that they put a package together. It was developed for this vehicle. You start putting on different parts, you don't know where you're going to get.
So overall, this vehicle is fun. This is a vehicle that we've used all around the United States. The HEMI really rewards the driver. It's got a great sound to it. You know, it's a very tightly integrated package. Now, obviously, this vehicle is $78,000. So you've got a big investment in what ends up being a really fun toy. So the next real test came when I gave a call to Dave Harriton and I said, can we take one of your trucks, one of the ones with 37-inch tires, your full kit, and use it for a couple weeks and then take it through some really technical trails in Moab? So Dave gave us one of their spec vehicles. It was actually used at the SEMA show, and this vehicle had 4.5-inch lift. It had HEMI variable valve train V8. It had 37-inch BF Goodrich tires, and all of their other kit, bumpers, everything else, skid plates, all of those components that they would typically fit to a vehicle. And we took that truck on two very unique trails in Moab. We did Cliffhanger on Sunday, which we did with Warren. And this trail in particular really tests the ground clearance of a vehicle. It has several crux obstacles. It's not the 4.5 typical extreme trail that you find in Moab, but it definitely puts a vehicle to its limits. And one of the things that we found is that for a stock vehicle that can be driven on the highway, the trail performance was exceptional. With the 37-inch tires, it was really just a point and shoot affair. It was simple for me to lock the differentials in, very good steering control, very good feedback from the vehicle overall, very composed suspension. So the trail was really quite easy for this vehicle. And then we took the truck again just a couple days later and we did Steel Bender, which includes a couple more significant ledges, some pretty serious climbs, low traction situations, pretty much all of what Moab has to offer. And that trail gave us another opportunity to test the vehicles with the 37-inch tire package and with the larger lift. And it gave us a good sense for what the American Expedition vehicles can do in the more extreme terrain. So now I'm going to talk about all of the accessories and the modifications that American Expedition Vehicles does to one of these turnkey JKs. And it really starts with the front. They use a stamped steel bumper. So this looks very factory, it looks very stock. It also allows for the fitment of a Warren winch. One of the things that I like these heavy duty front bumpers for is because you can take an animal impact without disabling the vehicle. And to that front bumper, they also fit a set of IPF HID lights, which we found to be very effective on the trail and on the road. And of course, the thing we like most about this AEV conversion is the HEMI V8. So this is the 5.7 liter variable valve train V8 that gives about 390 horsepower. This engine really takes this Jeep and makes it come alive. It feels like as if this Jeep should come with this motor. So not only is the drivability very good, it doesn't feel even overly powerful. It feels completely adequate. It feels totally appropriate to the vehicle. And we're actually finding that we're getting a mile to a mile and a half better fuel economy than we are with the V6 trucks. So to address ground clearance requirements, AEV fits these typical vehicles with a 3.5-inch suspension system. So this allows for the fitment of a 35-inch tire. Some people will go with a 33, but I find that a 35-inch tire is perfect on this vehicle. It gives quite a bit more ground clearance. It actually gives better articulation. And surprisingly, as we found on our road course, it also gives excellent handling. So this vehicle feels very neutral. It's got a very low roll center, and it performs very well in limited handling situations. So this rear bumper system could literally take an entire episode in and of itself. So I'm going to try to make it quick. It has a 5-gallon integrated water storage system. It has a complete high lift attachment point. It also has a pull pal attachment point. It has fitment for up to a 37-inch diameter tire. It has full skid plating for the quarter panels. And it also has integration with a factory receiver hitch. But most importantly, it looks factory and there's no rattles. Obviously, the one downside of this bumper is it's expensive. So to summarize our experience with the American Expedition vehicles, as many of you know, I think that the 4-door JK Wrangler is one of the most important developments for overland vehicles in the last decade. This vehicle has really changed the game in my mind when it comes to performance, durability, and capability for a vehicle like this. But I have to say without question that the American Expedition vehicles are the most impressive domestically built conversion packages that we've ever tested. The tight integration with the factory systems, the near stock appearance, and the very fine design really brings together the most impressive truck we've ever checked out.